You know what's funny? I wrote an entire script for this YouTube video, but the problem is I wrote it in my head and my brain continued to have thoughts after that, so I forgot the entire fucking thing. But I wrote it. Like in my head I was like, we're cooking. We're cooking. We're cooking. This is just a video to announce I think I'm going to start titling all of my YouTube videos, the ones that I make every 6 to 7 months. But all my YouTube videos are going to be titled like Fall Out Boy songs just because I think that's funnier. Here's what happened. We got out of school at 1:30. All of the bus kids were like, hey, how the fuck are we supposed to get home? We can't drive. And the principal was like, that sucks. Wait for your parents to get here. I'm being dead ass. I'm being dead ass. He told us to wait inside in the cafeteria. I said, nah, fuck that. I'm gonna get a Slurpee from the 7-Eleven. And she said, bet. The problem is, the problem is the guy at the 7-Eleven, because okay, there was a girl and a guy that used to work there. The girl was she was super chill. I loved her. She was like 23. She had she had this boyfriend who was a piece of shit and she would always bitch about it. She was always on her phone. I thought she was so cool. She had an eyebrow piercing. She had a fucking raccoon tail. She was she had hair tease, whatever. She was a bad bitch. And I was like, I'm gonna go see my best friend at the 7-Eleven. Again, she did not know. I just stared and creeped at her. Anyway. Or there was this guy who was creepy as fuck. 45-year-old man who just, and I don't mean that in the sense that he talked a lot. I meant that he did this. I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding. He stood there and hand puppeted, but he wouldn't speak. Anyway, he was so fucking creepy, and I couldn't vibe with that. I just couldn't. But we made our way to the 7-Eleven, and I noticed that he was in there, and I was like, nah, fuck that. A Slurpee's not even worth that. I turned, and I remember there's a bowling alley. I'm like, oh my god, we can go bowling. I don't have enough money to go bowling, but I know I had it because I was planning on going to fucking Slurpees. But I know that Rachel Ann always had cash on her because her mom always made her buy hot lunch. Remember hot lunch, cold lunch? We had this thing hot lunch, cold lunch, take home lunch, which pretty much was hot lunch was lunch you got from the school, and then cold lunch was lunch that you brought, and then take home lunch means that you were going home for lunch. I always got I always got hot lunch, and it was always $5. But Rachel Ann always got either a 50 or a 20. And we hadn't had lunch yet because we had late lunch at like 1:30. So we had already gotten out of school because we got out at 1. And I was like, I know she'll still have her lunch money. I was like, hey, Rachel Ann, let's go to the bowling alley. And she's like, who's going to pay for the bowling alley? And I was like, oh, I got you. Don't worry, don't worry, don't worry. Little does she know, she has one of those purses that, like, with the satchel purses. And she was stupid enough to carry it unzipped on her back. So I just pulled her fucking wallet out and pulled out the fucking $20. We went bowling, babe. None the wiser. Until Rachel Ann got home and told her mom that they didn't have lunch. She's like, give me my 20 back. She's like, I don't have the 20. And then I got in trouble and I got in school suspension. And I don't think my mom knows that because they made me call my mom. So I just called the house phone and left a voicemail, but I got home before my mom does. So I just deleted the voicemail. Sorry, mom. And honestly, I did that a lot. I got in trouble at school a lot, and they would just be like, you need to call your mother. And I'd be like, okay. I don't know why I think it's a humiliation tactic because I would pretend that my mom would pick up and I'd be like, I'm so sorry, mom. Like, I would full on just Oscar nominated, like, I'm sorry, mom. I didn't mean to. I didn't mean to. Like, the whole 9 yards. They'd be like, Mommy, I want pizza. Let me do. You know when you're just doing shit for the plot? Yeah. 5-year-old me was doing shit for the plot. Stirring problems where there did not need to be problems. Stirring messes up. Being like, I would just do it just to see how they would react. Sometimes I would say shit to my dad just to make him mad. because I knew because I could. I'd be like, you know what, I'm gonna piss dad off, and I would just say something, and he'd be like, "Ah!" And I tried so hard not to laugh sometimes. One time he threw my dad is so fucking embarrassing. He carries a gallon jug of water. And the gross part is he doesn't even like refill, like he buys a gallon jug of water. He buys a gallon of purified water, drinks that. And you think, "Oh, he just refills it." No. He can only drink bottled water. So he buys another gallon and another. He buys like 6 or 7 gallons at a time of water. And one time he was like, "Water's getting ridiculous. It's like $5 a gallon." And I was like, "You could just drink it from the tap." And he literally went, "I would never." I'm like, "Don't you have a water spout in your fridge?" "I know you have a water spout in your fridge. I've been to your house." Like, what? And he carries this like gallon of water. And my dad has a tendency. I think he's better now, but he used to be a little, como se dice, homophobic. And I wasn't about that shit, cause and so I would call him out on it, and I think I said this one phrase, being like, "Here he goes again." Okay, here he goes again. I think it was here he goes again. I think that was the thing that I always said, "Here he goes again." Okay. And that what oh, I said it when he was in a bad mood, and he took his fucking gallon of water and said and threw it at the wall like a toddler. And then he started crying. Anyway, my dad is a triple Pisces and my mom is a triple Taurus. That's why I'm so fucked up. The thing is, that's not true. My dad is actually a Pisces Scorpio Pisces, which is worse. And my mom is a Taurus Leo Taurus, which is worse. Especially as a Leo Gemini Leo. That shit was lethal.